All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Carnivore Talk. So I know we missed last week, and I certainly missed all of you, even though I was enjoying myself down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And we'll talk about that here for a little bit. But just as a refresher, remember, this is a roundtable discussion on Monday nights on this channel, which means anybody literally can click the link that's going to be pinned. Let me go over here and pin that link to the top of the chat, and you can join us on screen, and you can restream it to your own channel if you want. If you want to share the content, you can tell us about your carnivore success story. You can tell us about your carnivore struggles. You can even ask questions, even if you're not a carnivore. So this is kind of an open-ended discussion, and anybody's allowed to join as long as you are cool and friendly and respectful. We'll be happy to have you. And so with me on the screen this evening, I have Jeff. He's been a little MIA these last few weeks, too, because he's been busy moving from one residence about an hour south. Is that correct?
Hour and a half south.
Hour and a half south. So how's that gone for you? How's the move?
After about 25 to 28 trips, hour and a half one way, 3 hours round trip, we finally got everything moved. It's a lot tougher moving a farm than it is just moving a household, but we got her done. And now the hard part begins where we got to figure out where everything's going to go. But we're blessed to have this new place, and we're thankful for it. And we're just glad that in our old age now that we have the strength and the durability and the stamina to keep working like this. I'm just absolutely amazed that 2 years ago, I could have never done what I'm doing today. I mean, I spent today all day long swinging a Maddox, digging ditches for drain lines, and just finished up 15 minutes ago doing that chore. Got the lines covered up, everything laid. And I couldn't have done this 2 years ago. And now I've got the strength and the stamina and the durability to just keep going. And I'm just amazed. Now I got to credit that strictly to how we eat today.
And that would not mean, in case anybody's wondering, that you eat your fruits and vegetables, does it?
No, I credit all the carnivore.
Yeah. So yeah, the carnivore diet, it's amazing, life-changing. If you are in the chat, you're probably doing a carnivore diet, or you've done it off and on, or you do a carnivore-ish diet, and you know exactly what we're talking about. But if you don't, then it's absolutely something that we recommend trying. Do some research on the internet, scour the YouTubes and look at the carnivore doctors and just listen to all the experiences, and clean eating will work wonders for you. Yeah. So it has me. I'm the same way. 2 years ago, I was, weak bones, breaking bones, really overweight, short of breath, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm a totally different person now, thanks to my carnivore diet. And I'm 49. And so you're talking about moving an entire farm, 28 3-hour round trips. I certainly don't envy that. And how old are you now?
69.
69. Okay. You were 68, I think, the last time we asked. So
yeah, and I pulled me and my wife. Now my wife's 65, and we did most of the move by ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like we have, I don't know if you know what livestock panels are, but they're anywhere from 10 to 12 feet long, 5 or 6 rails, all pipe. And we moved well over 100 of those by ourselves by hand, and that's a chore. Loading them up on the trailers, and getting them down. And I'll admit, we've got one batch unloaded. We got half of them unloaded. We haven't unloaded the other trailer. We just don't have the gumption right now to do it. We don't need them right now, so we're just leaving them on the trailer. But we did most of the move ourselves, but we were blessed to have friends come over one Sunday. And with 5 trucks and 5 trailers, 2 flatbeds, 1 big cargo van, all of them 20 to 30 foot trailers. We got all the equipment moved in one day, in one shot. with five trucks and 5 trailers. And man, we're blessed to have friends that could come together like that to help us out.
Yeah, that's very nice. So I haven't moved myself in 15 years now, but I have helped some friends move, and yeah, it's not an enjoyable process. And then I'd help them move, and then I'd leave them. They do their own unpacking, and when we drop everything off, and I just think of the work that's still ahead of them yet, unpacking and organizing everything. Moving is a chore. That's why I don't do it as much.
It is,
avoid it if I can.
Two of the friends that helped us are people that I counsel on Carnivore. It started off, one of them, she's my wife's best friend. She was recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I told her, I said, I can help you with that. And so I got her on it's not a strict carnivore. She's going to be more ketovore, but I got her on it. When her husband saw how well she was doing, he decided to join it. He's got a lot of physical ailments from or physical problems from a bad car wreck when he was a police officer on a high-speed chase. He had a wreck, and it retired him. But he's on it now, and he's thriving. So I've got two ketovores that I'm working with that helped us out. So I get to see positive feedback from them.
Yeah, that's nice. I've got one friend locally who is doing the carnivore diet, and I think now she's kind of added a little bit of fruit in, and she's doing fine with that. But it's kind of nice to have someone in real life, that's there to support you and is interested in it as well. So
it's funny you mentioned fruit. So it's happened over a week ago, but you came to mind when I was moving, because out in our front yard we have a jujube tree at our old house, and it's in full bloom. I mean, the jujubes are actually starting to get overripe, and I didn't eat none last year or the year before, and I used to make a jujube butter out of them, like apple butter, and give it to my friends, and they always thought it was the best stuff ever. And I took a play from your playbook. I was out there, we was moving, I was hungry, and I knew it was going to still be several hours, and I thought, what the heck? Bob says if you can pluck it or pick it. So I plucked me a handful in, popped them in my mouth, started eating on them. And every time I go by that tree, I grab a jujube. And I noticed it helped satisfy my hunger. And I can't say that it gave me any, because they're natural, they're really mild. They're not real sweet if you've ever had one. Very similar to an apple in texture, the size of a cherry. But I noticed they didn't affect my weight. They didn't give me any cravings. I managed to satisfy my hunger and get on with the job. And so I took a little play from your playbook. So I had some fruit, didn't hurt me a bit, but it's not something I'm going to indulge in all the time. I'm just glad it didn't give me any cravings.
Right. Yeah. I just have it once in a while. And in my first year, if I had it then, it would induce some cravings. But now that it's been a couple years, if I occasionally have some fruit, it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
I think that's important to note, because once we get clean, we get all that stuff out of our system, and we get into our lifestyle. We're now from a diet to a lifestyle. A little something now and then isn't going to hurt us. We've talked about this before. So like some friends came to visit us. Our horseshoer came to visit us, and we took him out to a late breakfast, him and his wife, and I ordered an omelet, and it was a carnivore omelet. I mean, they were like bacon and cheese omelet, and if you want eggs, sausage, 50 cent extra or whatever, I said, yeah, I want all 3 meats in my omelet. I mean, and they packed it full. And now I knew that omelet was going to be cooked on seed oils. Okay. That's probably the first time I've had seed oils in months. That little bit ain't going to hurt me. That little bit of fruit I had wasn't going to hurt me. As long as I do it every once in a great while, I can get away with it now. It doesn't affect my body. Now, if I eat that fruit and the next day I was sick, I was cramping up, whatever, okay, yeah, I know I can't eat fruit anymore. But I know now that I can have a little something natural, seasonal. I still don't want to do it, but I know I can do it if I need to. That's where we are omnivores. Omnivore meaning we don't have to eat this way, but we're capable of eating this way.
Right. Or hypercarnivore is 70% animal product. That's 30% other stuff, and or hunter gatherer, so it still fits the prototype, so
Right.
And for me it's mostly seasonal because I got the cherry trees and the apple trees, and I get a week out of one, I get a week out of the other, and then the bugs and the deer get them all, and then, okay, like I said, occasionally from time to time I'll talk about I'll make some of my own confessions here a little bit as I talk about my vacation, but I do want to go over and say hi to those who are in the chat tonight. So I missed you all last week. It's good to see you here. Linda Flanagan, hello. And Paul, hello. He's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's about 5 hours from me. So I'm in Northeast Ohio. And one of these days I'm going to organize a Northeastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania meetup. And you'll all know about that when I do. So we have Carnivore Coach Edens is in the chat. Welcome here. I had a couple error messages I was trying to chat earlier and they didn't go through. So Linda's in Texas where it's still hot.
It ain't that bad. Only got up to about 95 today. Whereabouts in Texas are you at, Linda?
Yeah, let us know, Linda. Jeff's in Texas too. So, and that was one of the kind of disappointing things about my vacation is that we got down to Myrtle Beach on Sunday and it was like 75 and cloudy, and it was like that Monday and Tuesday. So I didn't even get in the water. It was just chilly breeze and everything. But Wednesday it started to get to the upper 70s. Thursday, Friday, it crested over 80, and Friday was sunny. So when the sun was on, it was hot. So we got to enjoy some ocean there towards the end. But the beginning of the week, we had to find other things to do. My son at a blacksmith, he forged his own knife. That was pretty cool. And we did the dolphin cruise, things like that. George is checking in from Somerset, England. Welcome, George. Good enough. Yes. And then Carnivore Coach Edens grew up in New Jersey and spent some time in Lancaster. Okay. And then we all know semi-retired Bob. So he's got a good channel going on. Boy, has he had some major success with his diet as well. All right. Let's see here. And I know his YouTube channel, but not personally. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've made some comments in the chat, that he's responded to, but I haven't actually talked to him face to face or on video yet. Semi-retired Bob, though, he's a good guy. Nancy is from Kerrville, Texas.
Kerrville. Say it right, Kerrville. I know
Sorry.
Kerrville.
It's that Ohio dialect of mine.
I'm originally from San Antonio. I know where Kerrville's at.
Yeah. Lexus says she fell off carnivore and is experiencing some intense cravings, and that's okay. You know what? Because you can get back on. And I know you have a question
from where you're at, baby. Start from where you're at.
I know you have a question down here. We'll catch up to it, and then we'll take some time to talk about it. And then, just like Sandy says, forgive yourself. It's when you fall off, just get right back on. Let's see here. Carnivore Coach Eden said I would join, but I'm sick and have tissue shoved up my nose. All right. Well, I hope you feel better soon. So that's too bad. So my wife, she came back with something too. She's down on the couch coughing and blowing her nose as well.
What's going around? My wife's sick too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
She picked up something from the beach, so she started getting sick down there. Dustin from Keto Simples in the house. Good evening. Good to see you. Yeah, the beard.
Carnivore beard.
So forgive yourself and move forward. You did not undo all the healing. So yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Ain't nothing but a thing.
Go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. As long, even if you keep that pattern, you'll still make progress here. And let's see here. Grammy G says, "Hey, Alexis, I know where you're coming from. You fell down. Now pick yourself up and keep on keeping on. You can do it."
Yeah. Forget the mistake and just remember the lesson.
Yep. Don't beat yourself up over these slip-ups. They happen to the best of us. You know how to get back up and get moving. Yeah, and it's true. It can be a struggle. And but you know what? You did it once. You experienced the benefits. And just remember that and keep that at the forefront of your mind and let that serve as your motivation to do it again. So, semi-retired Bob is going to Homestead in Texas, B-bed area. And then here's the question. How do I get back on track with carnivore? No matter how much protein and fat I eat, the cravings won't go away. So this is where you eat until you're full. So the cravings are going to be there because if you fell off and you've been off for a while, the body's back to like, oh, I want some of those carbs, those tasty, delicious carbs. And, because if you've fallen off for a while, then you become like carb adapted again. And so you'll have these cravings, you'll feel hungry, you'll eat fat and protein, and you're still going to feel hungry, and so you just have to, eat until you're full, and eat and they say eat until you're stuffed. I like to say full, not stuffed. When I eat till I'm stuffed, I don't feel good. But when I eat until you're comfortably full, and then go distract yourself with something. Go for a walk, engage your mind, with a puzzle or a task or something like that, and give that time to be in your stomach for a while and allow your satiety signals to activate. So, back when I was a carb eater, I could eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and the way to stop eating was to stop eating, and I would still be hungry, but then about 20 minutes later, I would finally feel full because it just took that long for the satiety signals to kick in. So eat what you would consider a healthy meal. It can be even maybe a larger meal. And especially if you're doing like OMAD or 2 MAD meals, 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day. If you're still doing 3 meals a day, that's fine too. But then, go distract yourself. So if you're sitting around doing nothing, thinking about food, you're just going to kind of give into the temptation. So, eat until you're full and then occupy your mind with something else, and those satiety signals will catch up. And then as you deny yourself the carbohydrates and you keep feeding yourself the fat and the protein, then you will switch back to being fat adapted, so the power, the strength of those cravings, they're strong at first, but the longer you commit and the longer you're disciplined, they get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, and you become stronger and stronger, and you get the mastery over those cravings until the cravings are gone. So it is a struggle. It is admittedly a struggle, and but you just have to be determined, and a lot of it is mind over stomach, mind over matter, and like I said, keep all the positives in mind. And I also think, a good thing to do too is Jeff and I have always talked about, hit the YouTubes and watch the carnivore doctors and just continue educating yourself, continue subjecting yourself to the science, to the facts. Or if you're the type of person that likes to see the success stories and the experiences, you can go over to like Dave Mack's channel and just watch interviews and continue to feed your mind, that kind of
motivation.
Yeah, that kind of information, because it's going to motivate you. it's going to help, put that down inside you, so that's a good way to distract yourself with that kind of information. That's what I would do. So if
And I would add to that, everything you said was excellent advice. As Dr. Chafee says, if you are having cravings, there's a good chance you're not eating enough fat. And so that would be the first thing I'd look at is if you're having a craving, eat some fat. Eat some butter. That's how a lot of people are doing it, is they're eating some butter. And Bob's tried it, the butter bites, make you some brown butter bites, snack on those. We don't generally advocate snacking, but in the beginning, especially in the beginning of carnivore, when you're having these struggles, you need to go ahead and eat. You need to overeat. You need to eat and keep satisfying those cravings, but you just need to eat it with the right food. Now, what I did in the beginning is I always kept bacon cooked up. I would cook a pound of bacon at a time, and I would keep it in the refrigerator. And I'd have some hamburger patties cooked up. And if I was having a craving, I'd go grab me a couple slices of bacon. I'd just eat them cold, or I'd grab me a hamburger patty and slather some butter on it, and eat it cold, just something on the go. Was I hungry? No, but I was having a craving. That really helped with the cravings. And going for a walk, going and getting busy, as Bob was talking about, go occupy yourself with something, but distract yourself from the craving. The cravings generally will only last 20 to 30 minutes, so if you can go for a walk's a good thing for you anyways. Go ahead and do that. And then, like Bob was saying, stay motivated. Immerse yourself in the culture, immerse yourself in YouTube, chat rooms, whatever, get you a friend, a buddy, somebody you can talk to, somebody you can call up. I'm sure there's somebody around here would love to be your carnivore buddy. If you want my number, I'll give you my number. You can call me whenever you're struggling. I'd be more than happy to help you. But you need to get your mindset right. You need to motivate yourself and say, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to fail, and nothing is going to deter me. When you have that craving, you're just going to have to fight it. You're going to have to distract yourself, eat something, and you're going to have to fight it. And I know you can do it. We've all been there. We've all done it. So you're going to have to get tough, girl. I know you can do it. It's just a matter of getting her done.
Like the butter comment or the butter bites, so I don't always have butter bites on hand, but I always have butter on hand, or tallow or bacon grease or something like that. And, if I'm trying to do intermittent fasting and I wake up kind of early and I'm drinking my tea and I start to get hungry, but I really don't want to eat until noon before I have my big meal, and it's like 10 o'clock, I can go cut off a tablespoon of butter and eat it. And that'll eliminate my hunger, my cravings, my ravenousness, and allow me to kind of make it till the 12 o'clock hour. So that's good advice too. Fat, a little bit of fat, like that doesn't break your fast, is what I've heard from the carnivore doctors. So
yeah, I saw last week. I saw Kerry put out a YouTube video. Him and his wife was on the road. They was doing something, and Kerry wanted a snack. He was hungry. He wanted a snack. Pulled into the grocery store, Wally World, whatever. I don't know which it was. He went and got a deal of Kerrygold butter and brought it back, and he snacked on that when they was out driving around. I mean, that's how you do it. Just snack on carnivore.
Yeah. Latro is checking in from Austin.
All right, good deal.
So Sandy mentions that she's had several cheats in 10 months.
Keeping it weird in Austin.
I get back on the next day. What was that, Jeff? Going back to the Austin comment?
I said, keeping it weird in Austin. That's Austin's motto. Keeping it weird.
Okay. And I was going to say, get back on the next day. I get back on like the next meal, so like if I in that instance where, like, let's say I have some fruit at midday or something, like dinner dinner is going to be back to a steak or some sort of carnivore meal. You're like, I don't, I always try and, suggest, when I'm counseling others, like, I used to have that mentality, like, I blew it today. I'll start again tomorrow. And then told myself I had a license to do whatever I wanted the rest of the day. And that's bad. Or, it's Saturday, I blew it, I'll start again Monday. And now I got a license to eat whatever I want Saturday and Sunday. That's self-deception, So,
Yes.
If you eat something that's not carnivore, it's not the end of the world, especially if it's like all natural, just, okay, you did it. No big deal, and then on your next meal, you just go back to your lifestyle, because that's the way you got to think of it too, is it's your carnivore diet. The true meaning of a diet is a lifestyle, and so when you talk about a carnivore diet, you're talking about your lifestyle. And so this is who I am. I am a carnivore, and or I am a ketovore, or how, if you want to put a label on it, if that's the way you got to think about it, that's fine. But, or for me, it's just like, I only eat meat. I don't like to label myself. I just say I only eat meat, and so what am I having on the next meal? Well, I only eat meat. So obviously it's going to be meat, so to make, think of it as your lifestyle, make it your identity, as much as you can. So Don Shonger says, good evening. And Brisket Boomer says, hello, Bob and Jeff and all. And Carnivore Coach Eden says, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. I always forget to ask for that. That'll help the algorithms push this in front of other people, let them know we're live. And I'll just want to take this opportunity to remind you, since it's we're 30 minutes in now, is that this is open roundtable discussion, and you can join us on screen. We've had up to 10 before. That's the max I can have. So we got room for 8 more tonight. So if you would like to join us on the screen, there's a link pinned to the top of the chat, and I'm about to paste it in chat again also. You click that link, you use your own camera, your own microphone. You can turn your camera off if you want. That's fine too. Join us on screen, and we would love to have you. So Keto Simple says, to fill up on meat and fat, harder to eat things off plan if you don't have room. Bingo. Yes, that's right. Broken Carnivores in the house. Hello, everybody. Hey, how you doing? Come join us whenever you feel comfortable doing so. He pops on from time to time. And let's see here. I had swollen feet and ankles for a year. Second day on carnivore, swelling was gone. It scared me. Thought I was going to lose my feet. I pray hard for you, honey. Okay. And yeah, some people, they say to give 30, 60, 90 days to start seeing some results. But I was actually one of those that was fortunate to start seeing results within a couple days of doing carnivore. So that's always exciting when you see those results. All right. Tom, how you doing, Tom? Welcome to Carnivore Talk. Pop in if you like. How's your internet doing down there? There we go. We got Papa Carnivore in the house. Hey, Papa Carnivore, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, I got a little bit of vacation lag. A little tired. I came back, drove 10 hours on Saturday and laid around yesterday and went to work today. So I'm kind of getting back into my groove here. So,
Jeff, how'd the move go, my friend?
It's been rough, but we got her done. Now it's just trying to figure out where we're going to stick everything.
Yeah, but you got all the heavy lift. You got everything there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We got the whole farm moved.
Everything's on site.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool. So just take your time now and just, prioritize.
Oh, yeah. That's what we've been doing. As long as I'm getting something done every day, I'm making progress.
Well, and what's the rush? Is there any kind of rush?
Well, I'd like to get it done before I turn 80, you know, so.
Well, you know, what's that?
I'm
1
only
year?
69 now, but I'd still
Oh, I
like
was
to
gonna
get it
say,
done
what
before I turn 80.
is that? 1 year? 1 year?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Sometimes you like to add years to yourself. I remember in the interview you did with me, you said you were 78.
I'm numerically dyslexic, so yeah, I do things like that. But you know, I'll tell you, Papa, I have been thoroughly enjoying the work, thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoying putting everything together. You
Yeah.
know, working on the place. Like I was telling Bob earlier, I spent the day hand digging drain lines, and I got the last of the lines done and covered up, and 15 minutes before we went online here. And
What were you running lines for? Electric?
drain lines. Drain.
Oh, drain.
We have to. Yeah, some drain lines. Drain out in the pasture. But what I was telling him, you know, 2 years ago, I couldn't have done any of this.
Yeah.
You know, pre-carnivore, I couldn't have done any of this.
Well, who would have
And
done
now,
it if you didn't do it?
yeah.
Who would do it?
Yeah, I'd have to hire it done. I'd have to, you know, talk family and do it. But now, man, I'm doing stuff that I couldn't have done 2 years ago. My strength and stamina is such that I can just go all day. The only thing it doesn't protect from is blisters, and I got a few of them today. But other than that, you know,
Yeah.
this has been great. I'm just thriving so much eating the way that I eat. You know, that
You
I'm
should
able
have,
to do this even at 69 years old. It's just
man, you should have
fantastic.
seen this steak I ate tonight, man. It was, I mean, this is the first time in a while that I've had trouble finishing a steak. It was so big. It was a T-bone, but it was mostly all on one side. You know, on the New York strip side, there was almost no like fillet side. It was a weird looking thing, but it was so thick. It was gigantic. It was just so thick and big. I'll bet you it was close to. I'll bet you it was close to 2 pounds.
How much did it?
I bet it was close to 2 pounds.
Well, that ain't nothing for a hardcore carnivore like yourself.
Well, I don't know, man. I had some trouble finishing it, man. Now, if it were
Okay,
Rick,
when we go to
I was going to
when
say
we
if that
go
was
to
Rick the Duck Man, that would have been an
Yeah.
appetizer.
right, exactly. When we go to Texas Roadhouse, I love going there because they let me custom cut my steaks.
Oh,
And
really?
so when I go there, oh yeah, I can go in there and they got a display and you can pick out your own steak, but none of them are ever heavy enough for me. And
Yeah.
so I always ask them to cut me a 26-ounce ribeye,
Yeah.
and they'll cut me a 26-ounce ribeye, and it's just perfect.
Well, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
there was one weird thing to this steak is the fat on the edge was enormous. They usually at the store they cut off all the fat, but on this sucker,
Yeah.
man, it was all on there, man. And maybe that's why I had trouble finishing it. You know, that fat is really satiating.
Satiating. Yeah. Yeah. When I have them custom cut me a steak there at the restaurant, I tell them don't trim any of that fat off. You leave every bit of that fat on there.
Don't you do it.
That's right. And I'll go out and I say, I'll cut my own steaks. I'll go out and buy me a whole rib roast, or this last time I bought me a whole sirloin roast. And
Wow.
I'll cut my own steaks, and I cut every one of them to a pound each.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. I bought a chuck steak for the first time because I usually buy New York strips or ribeyes. So, but I was at the store and the chuck steaks were they were cheap. They're only $9.99 and they were buy one get one 50% off. So I was like, okay. I looked at it and it looked like it was plenty fat. And so I went ahead and bought it and cooked it up, and it was a little tough. I still have one more left, so it was okay, but not super enjoyable. So I need some tips on the proper way to cook a chuck steak.
So
Slow cook it in the crock pot.
check out this deal. So they had T-bones on sale at Winn-Dixie for $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
And so they limit you to 2 packs and the packs are like packs of 3. So I picked whatever the heaviest packs that they, whatever they weighed the most. And, so I got, each pack has 3 giant T-bones in it, but a pack of 3 was $19 for 3 giant T-bones. So for basically less than $40, I have 6 giant, I'm talking huge. These things are monsters. I had to put them in like gallon Ziplocs. They're huge.
It's great.
Very
I've
nice.
got, when we were moving, part of our move is our cattle, and we had 2 calves that we raised up since the year before last, and we got them suckers loaded, and they were a booger bear to load. We got them loaded up, and Mama just said, you know what? Let's not even take them down there. Let's take them to the processor. I don't want to mess with them again.
That's what I would.
So
That's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah, so I got 2 beeves in the meat locker right now. They're aging, and probably be aging for another week, and then they'll start carving them up. So I'm fixing to be.
Do you have freezers?
I'm sorry, go.
You got?
Oh yeah,
freezers?
I've got 3 freezers. Yeah, I got 3 freezers.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 1 stand up and 2 big chest freezers.
Oh, that'll be.
Yeah, if you're gonna raise your own meat like I do, because I raise my own sheep, lambs, goats, cattle, and everything. If you're gonna do that, you better have freezers.
Yeah.
And then plus all the hunting and everything that I do.
So Paul, are you Paul Salvatera?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, nice to meet you face to face. Glad you could join us.
Welcome.
I got on one of these once and somebody said, "Oh my God, Paul Saladino's on there." I go, "What the hell?"
Well, you're not Paul Saladino because based on this comment, you can't be.
No, I started 4 years ago. I turned 65. I got Medicare, got insurance, started going back to the doctors, and found out that I've been on the wrong medication for 15 to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And little pharmacist from Walmart came running out, and she was Chinese, probably 5 foot tall, and this ain't going to work. And it was insulin, and I was on the wrong insulin regime, and wouldn't work. And I kept telling the doctors I'm chasing blood sugar all the time. Oh, and I know what they were thinking in their minds. He's a liar. He's stuffing donuts down his throat, And finally figured it out. But all those years I was under so much stress. I had 3 kids to get out into the world as a single man, and my ex-wife was mentally ill, and I had a son to get through cancer, and I ain't had no time for me, And so I started out, actually, they sent me to an endocrinologist, and he mentioned how he only ate 30 carbs a day. So I went home and Googled 30 carbs a day, and they started bringing up all the stuff about keto and low-carb diets, and I just took it from there. Within a year, I was converted over to carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And everything's gone except for my diabetes. And I think the problem is I've done a few C-peptide tests, which tell you how much insulin your pancreas produces. And I'm always on the very low end of the scale or just below the low end of the scale.
Yeah. So that would make you type 2 then, correct?
I'm classified right now as a type 2, but I respond as a type 1.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm allergic to every diabetes medication and shot there is except for insulin.
Yeah. So then do you still take a small amount of insulin as needed?
I'm using the high quality Lantus. It's a long it's a true 24-hour insulin.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you inject it under your skin, it makes like a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And then that dissolves over the period of 24 hours.
Okay.
And and just 3 days ago, I got off any. I was able to stop all my fast acting insulin. Been 3 days straight with no fast acting. I mean, I can just be sitting in the chair. My blood sugar can go from 90 to 180.
How long have you been carnivore? 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
Wow.
But I'm
Sounds
probably.
like you're more closer to type 1 then.
I respond as a type 1, yeah.
There's something not a type 1. They call it something else. What do they call that?
There is a type 1.5. It's rare.
No, but there's something else. What the heck is it called?
It's like adult onset juvenile diabetes. It's where you become a type 1.
There's a name for it though.
I can't remember they're up to what? 5 different classifications of diabetes now. Type 3 is Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but no, there's an actual thing where people.
I know. I can't think of the name of it. But you're right.
It's where your beta cells just kind of burn out over time. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what you got, and it kind of turns you into a type 1, but at a later age.
But I've had C peptides that were in the middle of the range, and I should be fine, but I don't know.
Well, if you have C pep, if your body's producing any insulin, any notable amount of insulin, then you're not type 1.
That's not true.
No?
Now, type 1, if you fall below, that depends. The C-peptide test is not standardized like the A1C is. A1C, the same number means everything everywhere in the United States at least, okay?
Yeah.
But C-peptide, you have to go, it varies from lab to lab.
Yeah.
A LabCorp, and I can't think of the other big one.
Quest.
Yeah.
Those two don't agree. Those two are not comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And basically, what a lot of doctors say, like if you're down around 0.3 or less, 0.4 or less,
yeah,
you can still be making a tiny amount of insulin, but you're a type 1 diabetic.
Oh, really?
Well, and what the endocrinologist will say, he will say you're responding as a type 1.
Oh, okay.
You're
It's
acting.
Yeah, it's like semantics. So, because
Yeah,
the medical community is going to want to say that type 2 cannot turn into type 1, but the truth is type 2 over time, your pancreas can become more lazy to the point where you require insulin.
Yeah.
So that's.
And the question is, can the pancreas be revitalized? I think maybe who knows? Maybe in 2 years I'll make it.
Well, you might make a little bit more. I don't know that it's going to come back to full life or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's that Venezuelan lady. I mean, she's got long dark hair, and she's I think she's an MD, but she's more into research than she is into clinical.
Yeah.
And she's done a lot of studies about insulin hanging around in the pancreas on burned out people.
Yeah.
And she has a theory that, there is a way to jumpstart it, and they actually did it illegally to one person in New York State. And actually, they use one of these GLP-1 drugs,
right,
in a very low concentration, and they mix it with another drug. It starts with the letter R. I'd have to look it up. But what they do is
you're not talking about Dr. Boz, are you?
No, not her. These guys were from Mount Sinai.
Oh.
And what they did was they put a tube under the right up next to the pancreas, or even into the pancreas. They pump fluid through it, and they're putting these cells in there. They're sort of like stem cells. I don't think that's the right term for it though. And they can calculate how much stimulation your pancreas needs for your body. So they're basically almost like running fluid through your pancreas to regenerate it.
Wow.
And they can't go, and these things have like a multiplying life, okay? So they multiply. It's like a nuclear explosion. So they got to be careful they don't go too far.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll pass out, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got too much insulin now, okay?
Yeah.
It'd be just like if you're a diabetic and you took too much insulin.
Yeah.
And this person was illegally cured of their diabetes. It was unauthorized. They could have got it was an illegal thing. And I forget, one of the doctors on the internet talks about it. And
I've never heard of such a thing.
yeah, they actually, and they've done it with rats, okay? The first experiments were done with rats. So they give an injection to the rat, they kill all the beta cells in the rat. The rat cannot make any insulin.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this same procedure I just described. They do it to the rat, and they regenerate the rat's pancreas back to,
Wow.
and the rat then is fine. It's no longer diabetic.
Oh, that's crazy.
We have a question for Paul.
Yeah.
Holly asks, Paul, what kind of reaction did you have to diabetic meds? I've never met anyone else allergic to metformin. Metformin made my blood glucose, BG, go higher, and I had aura-type symptoms with blurry vision.
Oh.
So what kind of reaction did you have to diabetic meds?
I had the diarrhea. Uncontrollable diarrhea.
That's very common.
And even trying to soft start it, and but the GLP-1, I was on a super low dose, and put me in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And couldn't eat.
Did you have stomach paralysis?
No, I couldn't eat. It was just like, it's almost like a mental health condition. Really, just like, I don't want to eat. I have no desire. I don't need to eat.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but I went to the hospital and they took me off it. What happened was I was doing fine it was like a quarter dose. It was a very small dose.
Right.
But anyhow, there was 4 doctors in the hospital room, and 3 of them said, double the dosage. And one one wasn't a doctor. He was a nurse practitioner, but he was heavy into endocrinology. He said, no, he's not ready for it, and maybe he'll never be ready for it. He got overruled because he was the lesser dog.
Right.
And so I did what they told me. I took the shot, and 3 days later, I was in the hospital.
Wonderful. I have a friend who's a carnivore. I'm not going to say his name, that I've been helping out and kind of coaching him. And they had put him on the GLP, and it caused his stomach. He started vomiting, like he could, terrible stomach paresis. And I said, man, you got to stop taking it. And I told him we're gonna start a fast. You got to let that stomach heal. You know what I mean? So he fasted for a couple, 2-3 days, whatever. Got his stomach better. Put him on some bone broth. Just light stuff to come back in. Maybe a couple eggs, just something light. And he's doing so much better. He got convinced to do this GLP shit. And he's a diabetic like you, type 2 diabetic, insulin, on insulin. And he's been carnivore now for like 9 months. And I think he's pretty close to being off all his insulin. I got him off those GLPs. And what we're doing is, I mean, again, this is up to him. I'm no doctor, but we're working together. But he's gonna, if his blood sugar gets to 170 for an hour, wait an hour, goes to 170, and it, up that high, and it doesn't go back down to say 160 or less within an hour, then he takes his insulin, right? But if he's at 140, 150, even 160, where you're just let it be, because the more we can get less insulin in the body, right, the faster we're going to get him insulin sensitive. You know what I mean? We're going to get him off the insulin. But if every time you take insulin just because you're at 140, you know, or something, you're never going to get off it. You got to allow the body to, you know, to bring it back down. Now, obviously, you don't want it 170 for over an hour. Yeah, you're going to have to take some insulin, right? We don't, you know, there's a number, you know what I mean, at which you don't want to get it above.
I use 155.
Okay, but whatever the number is, okay, 155, 165, pick your number. But at some point, we've got to try and get the body to where it can bring it down on its own. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And, you know.
Well, I wear a CGM, and what I've done this last 3 days, I started exercising more.
Right.
And you know what I stand in front of the kitchen sink, I hang onto the kitchen sink, and I go up on my tippy toes, 1,000, 1,000, go back down.
Yeah, that's good.
So anytime my blood sugar hits 120 right now, okay?
Yeah.
I do 60 of those. Okay? Takes me about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Timer on the phone goes off. It's amazing. Like the last 2 nights here, my blood sugar was like 145. I did 60 of those. 15 minutes later, I'm down to 125.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, there's ways to do it.
Well, you know what it is? That muscle, there's 2 muscles in your calf. One of those muscles is called the, soleus. Okay, it's your soleus muscle.
Right.
Some people call what I described a soleus push-up.
Right.
That muscle only burns carbohydrates. It cannot burn anything else.
Oh,
it has to have glucose.
Yeah.
It can't burn. It won't burn fat. Okay. The other muscle in there, it'll burn fat. And even Dr. Berry showed you how you sit there and just raise your heels up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I haven't experimented with that because I'm also
while sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you bend your knees, it somehow enhances that soleus muscle.
Oh, wow.
And it gobbles up sugar.
Wow.
And it's that's how in the last 3 days they say, I can't remember, maybe you guys have heard this someplace. I can't remember where I heard it, but they showed a blood sugar spike that hits 155, okay? So let's say you're cruising along at 110, 120, and you jump up to 157.
Right.
Well, you went over that magical 155 mark. You did some damage to your body. So you come back down, you stay down. If you stay under that 150 for the next 6 days, it takes 6 days to repair the damage you did to your body.
Yeah.
Whatever cellular damage you did, the body's going to repair if it's got the protein and fats to do it. But you're screwed. Okay? It's over with. So if you have one cheat every week, you make no progress all year long.
Yeah.
Drives you back 6 days. Go.
Yeah, Brian Fly Fisherman Dish asks.
Oh,
Paul
there it is.
Peter,
Hold on. That's Lada. That's what I was looking for.
Are
Lada.
you taking Lada? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's what I was exactly.
Latent. Yeah. You found it.
Latent autoimmune diabetes of adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was. I couldn't. I was having a brain fart, man.
That's a real pit bull attitude there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do a little catching up here. Linda says she's west of Texarkana.
Texarkana.
And boy, I got to teach you how to speak Texan down here.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I need to brush up on my Texan. That's for sure.
That's way out in East Texas, Northeast Texas.
Okay.
I raised my kids in San Antonio, and my son lives in San Antonio. My daughter's in Austin.
Okay, well, I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, yeah?
Originally,
that's cool. Yep.
Kitchen Witch says she's in Southeast Pennsylvania, 6 hours a day. Yeah, all right. That's
well,
nice.
that's where I grew up. I grew up in Philly.
All right. Latro says Dave Mack has done a great service to our community with his interviews. Yes.
Did you guys see George Goodenough from England? George, George Goodenough, his interview.
I haven't seen his interview yet.
With Dave Mack.
I haven't yet.
So George and I are carnivore twins. Like if you compare our carnivore stories, they're like just about identical. Like how the laundry list of stuff that I've cured. The diabetes and fatty liver and high blood pressure and you name it. Well, George also the same thing. And he's got a great story. You should watch that interview. It was just a couple days ago.
I think I saw a part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. Well, he pretty vocal.
He's a
pretty
British
aggressive
guy. Yeah, British guy. He was in the British Army. He was in the Army.
Yeah.
Like a combat soldier.
Yeah, I've got it hanging. I watched part of it. I didn't get through it all yet.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. He's definitely
who my
one of
hero,
the big carnivores in England.
You know who my hero is? Sarah Hallberg. Sarah Hallberg.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, unfortunately. But boy,
she was amazing.
She had brass, you know what?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was really amazing. Really wonderful woman. I think she died of cancer, right?
Yeah, I know her life story pretty good. Her husband came to her and said, "You're smarter than I am. Why don't you go to med school and get your MD?" Because she couldn't take on the doctor. She had a master's degree in heart physiology. She was the person you see after you had bypass surgery. She'd recoup you, physical therapy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she couldn't argue with the doctors about the diet stuff. And so she went and got her MD. And she was in Lafayette, Indiana. And that guy on the Shark Tank, he funded her study of 500 people.
Yeah.
And Lafayette, Indiana is the most low-carb city in America.
Wow.
Because they had her there and they had the Vita program there. And every pizza, there's 2 colleges there, University of Indiana and, it's a big university. I can't think of the name of it. Anyhow, well-known university. Name escapes me at the moment, but every pizza shop in that town serves a low-carb pizza. Every single, and it's a college town. They got 2 colleges, one on each side of the river.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And let's see here. George says, not exactly combat language specialist. Not exactly combat language specialist. But
he was in Desert Storm.
Yeah. Sarah died April 2022, metastatic lung cancer.
Oh, okay. Lung cancer. I didn't know what kind of. I thought it was breast cancer.
Yeah. Catching up on some comments here. Jamette asks, where's Rick? And so he usually pops in at 9 o'clock after his bath with his rubber ducky, but he admits that he's having some camera issues. So we might not see him.
He's been having. He said he had like lightning or a storm or something blew out his stuff.
Yeah. Paul mentions that the page doesn't exist. I replaced the pinned message with the.
I got through the second time. Yeah.
I replaced the pinned message with the most recent one. So if you want to join us here, it's 9 o'clock. We'll talk about it again. We've got 5 on the screen. We have room for 10. So if you want to join us on screen and talk to us face to face as part of this panel, you're more than welcome to click that link in the chat and join us. We'd be happy to have you. Rick can eat 4 pounds of meat in a sitting maximum.
Well,
Guy's a hog.
Rick,
it's hardcore.
Rick, the steak that I had tonight had to be at least 2 pounds. And I'm telling you, I was struggling at the end to finish it. And it had lots of fat. I mean, they left all the fat on this sucker. It was so good, man.
I can do about 1.5 pounds. I can't hit 2 pounds yet.
Rick,
Dr. Nelson can.
Rick, I hope you went to Winn-Dixie and got some of those $4.99 T-bones. this weekend.
So Nelson grilled a 2.871 pound one the other day and wolfed it down. Carnivore Lifestyle. Anthony, I think that's a new name. So hello. Favorite fast food carnivore meal and best beef patties without seed oils. I'm gonna say McDonald's. So if you're looking for fast food, I think McDonald's has the best tasting one, and it's meat and it's just thrown on the grill, no seed oils. I think most of them are not going to have seed oils, with the exception of Wendy's. Wendy's they use a flat grill, and they'd like to coat it with oil before they throw the patties on. So there's probably some trace on the Wendy's one. I'm not sure about any other restaurants, but I remember watching a Kerry Mann video where he investigated that, and Wendy's was the bad one for using some seed oils. But fast food, I do the McDonald's quarter-pound patties. I'll order 4 at a time. So typical order, 4 quarter-pound patties from McDonald's. If I'm out and my options are limited, I can eat that with a clean conscience because it's just meat. So it's perfectly fine for you. I know Kerry Mann and his wife, Jen, they prefer Culver's. But I've never gone and just ate meat at Culver's because
Culver's meat is good.
Mine's like 40 minutes away, so I haven't tried Culver's.
Where I work at in Columbia, Missouri, they have McDonald's right across the street from where I work at. They have Wendy's, which I don't go to hardly at all. But then there's Culver's just right up the road from where I work, so I have Culver's every now and then. But I feel that my favorite burger patty is a Whataburger burger patty. I had those when I traveled through Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Whataburger is what we like down here.
Yeah, I used to love Whataburger back in the day, but that was with the bun and the fry, the whole bit.
Right.
So I'll eat a Wendy's.
Technically they're not Texan anymore. They got bought out by a Chicago outfit.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and there have been some complaints that they're not like what they used to be. I haven't seen it, but there's some people that think they've gone downhill because of it. But I rarely eat at any of them joints these days anyhow. Kind of like Bob, if I'm in a position where I need to eat and that's all that's available, I will pick Whataburger, but other than that, I don't go to them.
Yeah, my local Burger King won't sell the patties on the side, so I never have gone there. And then the Wendy's, I'll get the double or triple Baconator once in a while with no bun, no mayonnaise, no ketchup, just the meat, cheese, and bacon. And but once I started eating plain McDonald's burgers, I kind of lost my taste for Wendy's. It's just I eat the Wendy's and I get I'm kind of like, this isn't that great. So I just think the McDonald's one is a higher quality burger.
I got to tell you, I'm coming in here on 1,000 days carnivore. Do you know I've not once ever gone to a fast food place and had burger patties?
Oh yeah,
me either.
I never get that hungry, and I just either I bring my work into lunch, my food into lunch at work, or I just fast. I'm not hungry. And then when I get home, I eat at home. I eat I make my steaks, my whatever at home.
Yeah. So me, if I'm working with someone, like I usually eat breakfast and I can go all day with nothing, or maybe I'll just pick up some beef jerky or something. But if I'm working with any of my people that work for me, if we're working a job together, like 11 or 12, like they start busting out their lunches and start chomping on it. And then just because I'm around people eating, then all of a sudden I get hungry and I'm like, all right, I got to go get something. So, but I usually don't pack. So that's why I end up, running over to McDonald's from time to time because I just don't pack. I'm kind of lazy. So yeah. I got a microwave and it's right around the back of my truck. And I used to cook a little extra at dinner and then save it in a, glass container and microwave it the next day. But I kind of just, I didn't really enjoy microwaved reheated steak or microwaved reheated burger or anything like that. So I just kind of stopped doing it. So Lewis says, oh, I just threw it away. I just unstarted. He said his favorite way to do a chuck steak was to salt it like 24 hours before. Let it sit there salted for 24 hours before cooking it. I accidentally hit the X, and now I can't find the comment. And Latro says he's hit 16 months carnivore today. So congratulations. That's
Cool.
awesome. Yeah. All right. So now
the best chuck steak is have a grinder and grind your own ground beef. Just grind the chuck steak in the burger.
I might have to do that. So, because I tried to cook it like a steak, and I mean, it was okay. It just wasn't great. So,
And then if you do that, you can go to a finer screen and make it really fine and roll it out like a kindergarten pencil.
Yeah.
And turn that into beef jerky. I've only heard about it. I've not done it. But I'm extremely interested in it.
I want to
Well, they
get a
actually make a
dehydrator.
tool for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a caulk gun.
Yeah. And you think about it, if you could buy $5 chuck beef and turn it into a jerky, that's a pretty good deal.
Mm-hmm. Rick says he's a 2-pound meal is his normal size. And his favorite fast food is iguana. It's because they are fast, right?
Did you cook that on a V8 or a straight 6?
Let us know, Rick. How long do you let the engine run before you throw the meat on there to cook? Latro says, pass on the Whataburger. We have a Mighty Fine, and it's great. Just built a Culver's and haven't tried it yet. So I haven't heard of Whataburger, and I haven't heard of Mighty Fine either. Brian asks Jeff, here's a question for Jeff. How long do you hang your beef?
Well, my processor hangs them for 2 weeks.
He says he likes 21 days, so he goes. Looks like he goes another extra week.
So what's the purpose of hanging? Just to get the blood out?
Aging. You always want to age your beef. Aging helps break it down. Technically, it helps to tenderize it, but in reality, if you want to know the truth of the matter, when you are aging, you can dry age your own meat. You can buy it at the store and dry age it in your refrigerator if you want. But what dry aging is actually breaking down the connective tissue by way of, the word slips my brain right now, but it's decomp is what it is. It's
rotting.
breaking down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's breaking down the tissue by way of decomposition, and that's what dry aging is. But most tenderizes meat makes it better.
Yeah, most meat you buy at the supermarket's been dry aged for a couple weeks at least. And some people buy it, take it home, put it in their fridge uncovered, and let it continue dry aging. Something I haven't tried yet.
Yeah, and I've done that.
Rick says
I did that with a prime rib one time.
Rick says a V8 is best for cooking.
Oh, okay.
And Latro says there was a cookbook called Manifold Destiny long ago, cooking in the engine compartment. Yeah. Age makes it become tender.
Well, we've talked about it before. Back when I was a truck driver, I used to heat up my meals. Yep.
And Carnivore Lifestyle Anthony, this is kind of what we've been talking about, earlier too. Says, thanks for answering my question earlier. Dr. Ken Berry has great advice. He says, if you want to cheat on carnivore, cheat with keto. So, and with him, that means.
Yeah, he just did a video on that the other day.
Yeah, single ingredient whole foods, so. and yeah, keto if you want to, if you want to stick in the low carb department, for sure. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. So because he's like my mentor, so I subscribe to the proper human diet spectrum. So if you're low carbing it anywhere from 0 to 100, I support you. So actually, I support you whatever you're trying to do to better your health. So as long as you're thinking about your diet, and not eating the standard American diet, I think you're already on a path better than most people. So
if I'm going to cheat or if I'm going to enjoy something, I'm going to cheat with dairy or pickles or some kind of fermented food like sauerkraut or pickles. I found my favorite dill pickle. Natural Grocers carries it. It's a spicy dill pickle spear. Ooh, it's so good. So those are my cheat go-to when I want something different.
Yeah, I like pickles. So when I was keto, I snacked on them all the time because they're like, you look at the label, they're 0 calorie. It's just crunchy water, and it's fermented. So, and it's and then if you're animal based, I mean, technically that's a cucumber, and a cucumber is technically a fruit, not a vegetable. So there's many ways that you can incorporate a pickle. So I don't think it's going to be all that toxic. So, but toxicity in plants is an interesting subject. So I tell you, it's mind-boggling. Just doing some research on the history of some of the things that we eat. That the natural original versions of them were super toxic, and over thousands of years they've been bred to try and be less toxic.
Do you know lemons do not exist in nature?
I've heard that. That's one I haven't investigated fully, but
yeah, that was somebody crossbreeded 2 citrus ugly things and came up with the lemon.
Yeah, there's like there was no such thing as broccoli, no such thing as cauliflower, no such thing as Brussels sprouts. So those are all
well, that's not really true.
They're all derivatives of the mustard plant.
Well, they are. And do you know in England now, the Brussels sprouts are the size of a tennis ball?
Oh yeah,
and they're extremely. Somebody figured out a cross, and they came up with a hybrid. They're super sweet. Probably got a big sugar cut. See, you can take any fruit, and you can. There's a meter. I forget what it's called. It works on optics, and you can measure the Brix index. You can measure how sweet it is. And a friend of mine used to make strawberry ice cream with fresh strawberries. He'd grind the strawberries all up. He'd check it for the sugar content, go to his calculator, and know how much sugar to add, so every batch was consistent.
Oh, that's interesting.
And didn't matter if the batteries were extra sweet, then he'd use less sugar, but the meter told him what to do.
And then corn. Corn didn't exist. That's actually a grass that's been bred to have those kernels over thousands of years.
The Mayans or the Aztecs one that kind of evolved that to corn.
Yep. And a lot of the Navajos. I studied the Southwest American Indians for many years, and the Southwest American Indians did a lot of hybridizing of corn. And some of the varieties still exist today and are extremely tasty and productive. And but you go over to England and you see corn that looks more like wheat. They have a corn over there that they grow like wheat. Very different. It's not what we know as corn.
You go to many countries over in Europe and they won't even eat corn. They say, why are you eating cattle feed? Why are you eating pig feed? Because they will only feed corn to their livestock.
Or as Rick would say, duck food.
We grow, I was for a couple of years, I was an Amish tour guide. So these groups would come from all over the United States, and I'd step up on the bus and take them for a tour through the Amish land, you know. And one time I had a bunch of Iowa farmers. They're all retired. They came all the way across the country to come to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, see the Amish. And he goes, why do they plant the corn so far apart in 30-inch rows? We all got 20-inch rows, you know. And I go, well, they're Amish, they're traditional, you know. And then they found a crosshatch patch of corn. This is where they plant the corn in hills 5 feet apart in every direction, and they're staggered. And the horses cultivate in 2 directions. And they have a huge thing of wire on the planter that's got little knots every 5 feet. And every time that knot comes along, it trips the planter and drops 4 or 5 seeds. And that's how they get the field perfect.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see them cultivating, it's a 2-wheel cultivator, and it just goes up to a single horse, very lightweight machine with just the driver, and they go to beat hell through that field. And there's virtually no weeds left when they get done because they cultivate in both directions.
I mean, before they did conventional farming, what it is today, that's the way they used to do it with tractors and stuff, the way the Amish did, but with tractors. I mean, I watched my grandfather grow up when they had cornfield. They had an old tractor and they had the equipment, and you know, they never once used glyphosate, herbicides, any of that. They cultivated it with a machine, special tractor. Even they had tractors where they had high crop tractors where you go right through and it'll cultivate it. But now, of course, now we have, you go up, especially in my area, like towards the north, and there's like cornfields in there, and you can't even fit through the field now.
It is, you know, you're talking, there's 43,000, little over 43,000 square feet in an acre. And sometimes they're putting 30,000 seeds. It's almost a seed every square foot. It's just unbelievable.
I've got some of that old horse-drawn equipment on my place. I've got a breaking plow, disc plow, and a seeder, all horse-drawn. Now, none of it's usable. This is all what we call yard art. You know, it's old. It was on my property when I bought the property, and I'll be putting it on display. But we're tickled to have it.
I lived in North Carolina for 29 years, and I went to North Carolina State Fair, and they had their collection of horse-drawn equipment is 80 pieces strong.
That's cool.
It's an amazing collection. Yeah,
I got
absolutely.
a friend of mine back up there where I used to live, and he has a process. He processes deer during the season, and the rest of the year he's got a business of doing meat sticks and jerky that he sells to the stores. But he's very much into the old ways, and he has horse-drawn equipment that he uses, and he raises fruits and vegetables, and the wife and the daughters, they all help out, and you know, they raise their own food, and whatever they got left over, they sell it at a roadside stand, you know, and the women folk, they'll make fresh pies and breads and whatnot and sell it on the side. And everybody thinks they're Mennonites or something, you know, and they're not. This is just what they want to do. It's just that they prefer the old ways. You know, it's just their thing. It's pretty cool. He sent me pictures of his horses, you know, and him out there plowing up the ground with his equipment. He's pretty proud of it.
I have gone to, they have 4 horses across the implement, and then 3 justified to the right, 7 up, 2,000 pounds per animal. So here's a good trivia one for you. A 2,000-pound Amish workhorse, can pull 8,000 pounds across the ground, okay? 8,000 pounds. Okay? What can 2 horses do? No, it's not 16,000. is 24,000 pounds. When they look down at their feet, they're looking at the other horse's feet. And it's kind of like four-wheel drive. Oh, you got your foot placed? I can advance my foot. Oh, I planted? Now you can advance. Not only are they hunching their backs and getting their muscles into it, they're also looking at each other's feet and know what they're doing. And you take a couple of, it's just amazing what they can do. I saw 4 horses pull a tractor trailer up a hill because it was muddy. He couldn't get traction. He was making a delivery to a barn. They had a furniture business inside. A lot of the Amish barns up here, they don't have any dairy anymore. There's no money in milk for them. So they're doing other things. And in one of them, it's a youth center, and they have volleyball. Indoor volleyball in an old dairy barn. They're amazing people. And now they're starting to connect to the grid.
That's the Amish, right?
That's the Amish. That's the old order Amish,
Yeah.
which is distinctive to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And they say there's a cannery. I don't know how many. I think he's got twin Caterpillar diesel engines. They're 170 horsepower each. That's how he's turning generators. It's totally powered by generators. And they can everything you can imagine. And they repack food. They buy food in number 10 cans, dump it out, pack it in quart cans and pints, put an Amish label on it, and out it goes. But when they just started school up, and the first 2 weeks of school is only half day because the kids all go and pick cucumbers and make pickles.
I was doing some work years ago. I'm a tile setter, and I was setting tile, and the carpenter crew was all Amish. And someone has to drive them and drop them off, and then drive them back at the end of the day. And I was looking around, and it's like, because you hear how they don't use technology, but they were all plugged in with extension cords. They had their power tools, air compressors, and everything. And so I'm like, okay. But then they all, no zippers, just buttons and everything. And I was going to go get some lunch at the time. I was going to go get a Subway, and I'm heading out the door, and there's this little Amish kid, and he flips up a cell phone, and he's got an issue of Boat Trader, and he calls and he asks about the size of the engine on some boat. And I'm like, well, that's peculiar, And I go to Subway, I get my sandwich, and I come back, and they're all sitting around in a circle in the living room having their lunch together. And I'm like, well, can I join you guys? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. So I turn over a bucket and I sit down there and I'm eating the sandwich and I'm listening to the Amish talk. And I was like, I got a question for you. Can I ask you a question that touches on your culture or your religion a little bit? Would that be okay? And there's an old guy there. He's the boss, and he's like, oh yeah, sure. I said, okay, so I know you don't take advantage of a lot of technology. I noticed the no zippers and I heard that you don't do electricity and televisions and radios and stuff back at home. I was like, you guys are using power tools. I said, and this kid over here flipped out a cell phone and he called and asked a question about a boat. I'm like, so I'm just confused. Could you clarify that for me? And the Amish guy, the boss, he was like, well, he goes, we have a guy in the camp and he kind of sets all the rules, and they elect him, and then he serves as like the spiritual leader till they die. And then they elect another one and he kind of makes the rules. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, how come you can drive a boat, but you can't drive a car? And he said, well, it's because the boat is going to be an outboard motor that you control directly. It can't have a steering wheel. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, so the difference.
It all depends on your bishop. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said that's
in Lancaster. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah,
there's 250 bishops. Yeah.
And I said, I said, okay. I said, well, is there like a scripture or a Bible-based principle that you derive that from? And he goes, nope. And I'm like, no. And he's like, nope. And
Nope.
I'm like, well, then why the rule? And then
That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it.
well, he actually got pretty animated. You know, he's like, you know what? He goes, hell if I know. He goes, I think it's the stupidest thing too. The dumb rules that this guy makes. He goes, I got to pay somebody $150 a day to drive us up here and drive us back. And you know what? That's money I could put in my own pocket if I just went out and bought my own damn van, you know? And he just like went on this tirade, like venting, and all the little Amish kids are looking at him like in shock that he's like going off on this rant. And I was like, okay, I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to like push any buttons or anything.
You know, it's just like there's roughly 300 church districts in this area. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's 150 some bishops, and in some church districts, not all, in some church districts, when a girl turns 16, she will wear a black. Her bonnet would be black. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what that says is that I'm available. Okay. You boys may come and, approach me. I'm available. I'm not married. Okay. Not all, but in some church districts, that's how they do it. And what goes on in a church meeting is, your cousin from 3 church districts away came to visit, and he'll poke you in the side. Hey, who's that girl over there? Oh, that's Rachel. Well, tell your sister, Laura, to make sure that we arrange it so I'm sitting right across from her at the table when we have our meal. Because I'm going to ask her if I can take her home in my buggy tonight. And all that goes on. And you ain't seen nothing till you seen an Amish wedding. And it's just some of the, and it's different, but it's all the same. But they are very, and they're not as healthy as everybody thinks they are. Oh, they're eating farm fresh vegetables. No, they eat all the crap everybody else eats.
I heard they have an alcohol problem too. So I was working with one guy. I'd see him every from house to house that we were working in this development. I'd keep running into him, and he was clean shaven. And then a couple months go by, and go to another house to set some tile in the bathroom. And then all of a sudden, he's got a beard. And I comment, I'm like, hey, you grew out your beard. He's like,
got married.
Well, I'm married now, And so that was like what the men did was they were clean shaven, but when they got married, then they grew out their beard, and that demonstrated outwardly that they were not available. So
and they shaved their mustache and high cheekbones because the people who oppressed them back in Europe, in Switzerland mainly, in Germany, they had the fancy mustaches. You gotta remember back in the 1500s, they were beaten, burned. Beaten, burned, just killed, murdered. They came to America. And you know who brought them to America, don't you? William Penn. A nickel an acre. A nickel an acre. Penn owned almost all of central Pennsylvania. His 2 brothers, his 2 sons, sold all the land off to the Amish who came from Germany and Switzerland.
William Penn, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Yeah.
The same William Penn. The King of England owed him a lot of money and gave him all the land. He sold it for a nickel an acre.
Mm-hmm. So
and this was. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can finish that thought. So this is going to start a story from me.
Well, Lancaster was a major thoroughfare in the Underground Railroad, and they came up the Susquehanna River till they got parallel to Lancaster and Philadelphia, and they came across from farm to farm to farm, and there was a family that helped over 1,100 slaves on their road to freedom. And one of the young men, he was like 19 or 20 years old, scared to death. This man helped him out, and years later he learned to read and write, and he wrote the story down about how this guy helped him. And like, just it was like in the last 20 years, they found this document. Somebody opened up a book someplace and said, "Look at this," and it was the whole story. And they went right up New York State, basically directly north of Philly, basically Syracuse. That's where they went, and off they went.
Hold on, Willow. Got my dog here. Probably wants out. Let's see here. So very educational. A lot of people are commenting that they enjoy listening to you, and we've all.
Oh God,
So Aaron asks, how was vacation, Bob? So yes, so I went to Myrtle Beach last week. That's why there was no Monday Night Live last week, and so it was good. It was okay. We've been there lots of times, and I'm kind of eager to go somewhere else next time. It'd been a few years though, but we got down there, and we always like to go in September because it's less expensive because it's not during the tourist season. Everything's less expensive. And so we went down there. It was the 7th through the 13th. And when we got down there, it was actually overcast, 75 degrees, windy, kind of on the chilly side. We got in there Sunday night. Monday, kind of same thing, gloomy, breezy. And we went out on the beach for a little bit, walked downtown. Tuesday, same. Wednesday, it warmed up a little bit, and I got in the ocean, but it was a struggle. It was still windy, and so I wasn't in there for long. We found things to do those days, though. So, like, my son forged a knife, and maybe I'll find some Facebook pictures that my wife posted and show that to you. That was kind of fun. And then then there was a day we took the dolphin cruise, and that was actually really good. We got spoiled by dolphins. We took a boat way out into the ocean, and they were swimming all around us, and we speeded up, and they would try and jump the wake on the boat, and they were very playful, very cool. And they said that we kind of got spoiled because it's wildlife, so sometimes they're not active at all. So we had a pretty good time. But Thursday it started to get upper 70s, lower 80s, and then Friday was the first day that the skies were clear and the sun was beating down on you, and it was nice and hot. And so that was the day that we enjoyed the ocean the most. And of course, that was our last day. We did go out to eat to a place called Captain Benjamin's Seafood Buffet. And I was mostly well behaved there. I took advantage of the crab legs, the shrimp, the raw oysters, and the ribeyes that were on the buffet. But I did try a few things. Like I like scallops. They had some scallops but they were breaded. So I had just a few of those. And then they had some alligator that was breaded. I had a few of those just because I wanted to try it. But I did pretty good. And then there was one night where I had a gyro. That's my biggest sin right there. And then every time we go down there, there's a outdoor mall called Broadway on the Beach. And there's these wine tasting places down there. And so you can do wine tasting, and I like to get their wine slushies. So there was 3 days where I had wine slushies. But outside of that, we grocery shopped, we cooked it. We had a room with a kitchen, so we cooked in the room and drove back Saturday, sitting in the car for 10 hours. I was kind of expecting that, Sunday morning I'd hop on the scale and I might be a couple pounds up, maybe 2 or 3 or something. But actually I wasn't. I did not gain a single pound on that vacation. So I was really delighted about that. But those were the sins I committed while on vacation, which, it is vacation. So it was somewhat of a special event. And now everything's back to normal. So I said I was going to make some confessions. Those are my confessions. So I had a gyro and 3 wine slushies while I was on vacation.
That ain't bad at all.
Yeah.
And next time you go further south, go down to Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll put you about 40 miles from Sweetman's.
Mm-hmm.
And Sweetman's is what they call a 100-mile barbecue joint. You will drive 100 miles to go to this barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good. And they cook the whole pig. And so it's pork. and there's everything else, but you could do well on pork. It'd be a great place for a carnivore.
Mm-hmm. That sounds interesting. So I'm going to go to the restroom. So you guys keep the conversation going. I will be back in about 3 minutes.
I did. One thing I've been always wanting was to find picanha because I always heard about picanha, and I finally found it at my local Walmart in the town near us. So I'm finally got some picanha.
How'd you like it?
I liked it. The one I had tonight, I was kind of disappointed. It didn't have enough fat cap on it. But the one I had the other night, it was really good. I just did it like 300 degrees for about 20, 25 minutes. And then I'd put it under the broiler for about 7 minutes to get that crust on the fat. But it was delicious. But the one I had tonight, it was okay, but it didn't have enough fat on it.
Yeah, when I get my cattle back from the processors, one of the cuts I'm getting will be picanha, tri-tip, some of them. And when I take an animal in to get it processed, I always tell them that these are the cuts I want. Leave the fat on them. Don't trim them. And any fat that is not used in making the burger, you give it back to me. You don't keep it. You go ahead and vacuum seal it and give it back to me. So all the soot and everything will all come back to me. I even keep the bones for my dogs and for the marrow, so, and I keep the liver, the heart, and the kidneys because I eat those. So I don't do 100% nose to tail, but I do pretty close. But I got turned on to that picanha from going down to Texas Day, Brazil. And they'll do picanha once in a while. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
The next time I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna try to do the slow and go on the grill, then do a sear on it because I always love the charcoal grill. But one of these days I'm going to invest in a smoker and I'm going to do some smoked meat because I love smoked meat.
That's how I cook most of my meat is on the smoker, and I've got a pit smoker, what we call a stick burner down here. I don't use one of those easy bake oven smokers, as we call them. The pellet grills. We don't do that. I don't do that. Mine's all wood burning, and we do a lot of it. In fact, everything I've got. I just finished off a lamb roast that I smoked earlier in the week, and I've got a pork shoulder off of a pig that I killed earlier in the year out there on my place, and I smoked that up. I've got some burgers that I smoked in. I smoked.
I just used my Weber kettle grill. I modified the bottom of it. I bought the parts from the parts department, and you just smoke it right in there.
My smoker, I absolutely love it.
All right. Let's see here. I think you mentioned it earlier, but Sandy's curious where you live. You're in Lancaster, right?
Yeah, that area.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania.
I got to find a place to live my life out. I'm 69. I don't have a house, and I don't have enough income to pay high rents, and so I'm going to go to next May 1st. I'm going to Northern Virginia, Hot Springs, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to camp out in the national park for 3-4 months, and see if I can find me a little piece of land, old crummy trailer, old crummy house, fix it up and live in that. And if that don't work out, I'm gonna pack my vehicle and go to Texas and see Bob, semi-retired Bob. They got quite a setup down there, I think.
Mhm.
No restrictions whatsoever. Dirt road.
I didn't know where he was, so I know
He's
you called him.
he's very close to Big Bend. He's within 40 miles of Big Bend National Park.
He's out in
About as
West
far
Texas,
south
way
in Texas
west.
as you can get.
Yep.
Very, very far south in Texas.
Well, that's Big Bend is way east, or I mean, way west.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
south;
it's
it's
what,
west.
west of Del Rio or northwest of Del Rio.
Big
It's
Bend's as far south as you
it's
can go in
way
Texas.
way northwest. I mean, it's as far west as you can go. You go any farther, you go past Big Bend area, and you're heading into New Mexico.
Yeah. But New Mexico is
Bend,
north of Big Bend, though.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But there's no
I've been
restrictions.
to West Texas.
It's desert.
Yep.
It's
Pretty much
3,500
out
foot
there.
elevation. I've been
Yeah,
looking at it.
land's cheap out there if you like living in the desert.
It's 50 miles to the first grocery store. That's how remote it is. I don't know. I'm only thinking about it. I'm not. I'm hoping on Virginia.
Well, Virginia has some pretty low prices. West Virginia, I know, does. You can find some land pretty cheap out there.
This area is 40 miles from the West Virginia border that I'm looking at,
Okay.
and
Yeah, some of the
it's
cheapest.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got my son works with a guy that's from West Virginia, and they're always comparing prices of what it costs to live in Texas versus what it costs to live in West Virginia.
Yeah, it's a very poor state. I mean, it's just. But I don't know. We'll all hang out. I don't know what else to do. And it's just unless I find I'm a single person. I got just me, and I love my grandkids, but I see so little of my grandchildren now. They're just so busy. If I go to my grandkids' house, they're only ages 4 to 11, but they're just doing everything. And my grandson was the national champion in Irish dance this summer in Washington, D.C., and for his age group. And Lord, they're half Irish. Their father came from Ireland 35 years ago. And they're all dual passports. They're dual citizens. And I don't know. So as you get older, it gets different. I'm 69, just like you are.
Yeah. Jeff's just turned 69 too.
Yep. I had a birthday just last month.
Yeah, mine was in June.
I was July, yeah. And but I'm more vigorous. I'm as vigorous now as when I was 60.
No, I'm
And
a
when I
lot
was
more.
60, I had
Yeah, I
you
feel
look
like
good.
I feel like I'm in my 40s or 50s now. Since becoming a carnivore. It's like I was telling Bob earlier. I couldn't be, rebuilding my farm down here if it wasn't for carnivore. I couldn't have done this move if it hadn't been for carnivore. It's just given me a whole new life.
I think that's just the most exciting part is the new look at Bob, look at semi-retired Bob. He's got to be in the top 10 of all people who've recovered on carnivore. The guy
Oh,
had
yeah.
1 foot in the grave.
Yeah, he's
And now his
had
heart pumps
major,
more blood. I
major
mean,
trans-
his
yeah.
heart, yeah, it's just unbelievable. You know? And you just don't see that. You know, I myself, you know, I can now get up off the floor. I can lay down on the floor, not touch the floor, and get up. Come to a stand up.
Amen.
I can stand up.
Amen. I'm just amazed at my stamina, how long I can keep going these days. You know, I was
Yeah.
telling Bob earlier, you know, he asked me what I was doing, and I had just come in literally 15 minutes before the podcast started. I've been hand digging drain lines all day, you know,
I remember
swinging
you
them.
talking about that.
Yeah, swinging a Maddox, a hoe, and a shovel all day long and laying pipe. And I got done about 15 minutes for the podcast. I've been doing this all day, and I could still keep going if I wanted to. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a little tired, but if I need to, I can get up and continue working. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted at how much, and I mean, it's energy, but it's not like a burst energy. It's just a very sustained energy. I can just keep going and going. Energizer Bunny. That's what I should have named me. Energizer Bunny.
That's the way I am. Even though I'm probably I'm probably the youngest one here, maybe by 2 years by Bob, 47. But like a year and a half ago, I couldn't do what I'm doing now.
It's amazing.
Like I took off like right after the week of Labor Day. I took that whole week off to clean out mulberry trees and stuff. And my mom says, "Well, you need to quit for the day." I'm like, "I'm feeling good. I'm going to keep going till I'm ready to go." And I usually quit about 3 o'clock to break my fast, go in to eat. I take like a 10-minute cat nap, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. I get out, get the tractor, and I go brush hogging.
Yep. It's just absolutely amazing what this lifestyle of eating does for us, you know, and like a lot of people, you know, I wish I would have been in a position mentally and with knowledge to do this when I was your age. You know, that would have been fantastic, but God puts us where we need to be when we're ready to be receptive.
I have a son-in-law who was vegan for quite a while, 3-4 years. And one day he wound up in the hospital. And the doctor told him, you need beef 3 times a week at least. At least 4 ounces 3 times a week.
Good doctor.
And he's an attorney, and he's venomous. He's like a nasty snake or pit bull. He come at me about, you know, always mocking me about my diet, right? So one day my telephone rings. It's my son-in-law. Never calls me. Hello? Tell me about how you eat. And my grandson, he's very sports minded. Like I say, he's a national champion dancer. He may, you know how we have the New York Ballet and people make their living as ballerinas and ballet dancers? Over in Ireland, they make their living doing traditional Irish dancing. Okay? And people make their living doing that. Well, he's good enough that he could, if he continued, he could possibly do something like that. But he runs. Running is his big thing. He runs races back to back. Their recreation department, they have competitions. You have to compete within your age group. And he's so tall, he has to carry his birth certificate with him, right? They don't trust him. And so he runs the mile. And there's also a 2-mile race in his age group. You're supposed to pick one race or the other. He runs both and wins both every other weekend. So now I couldn't believe it. He's turning away carbohydrates, turning away sugar.
Cool.
It's not all the time, but he just, no, I'd rather have something else. And
Good for him.
so I bought him a bag of sugar-free beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack's. That's pretty damn good. Pretty damn clean stuff too. I was impressed. But that's my next project. I'm looking into a dehydrator or something and start making beef jerky somehow.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
got
one of my
of
goals
those, and
too.
it's really awesome to have. I usually do. I do mission trips maybe twice a year. I'm going in December again through to Acuna, Mexico, through an organization that's based out of El Paso, Texas, called Casas por Cristo, and where they build houses, small houses for people in Mexico. It's a ministry, and because of they fix, a standard diet, a lot of carbs and stuff. I take my own stuff. I make my own jerky. I do my bacon and everything, and I take it with me, so that way I don't have to worry about eating that trash.
I'll tell you what I've been making lately is I mean, I love jerky, but most of the store bought jerky, it's got soy in it or it's got sugar in it, and I avoid both of those. I've started making my own biltong, and I have fallen in love with that. I like biltong better than I do jerky now. It's good stuff.
I was down in Myrtle Beach. There's a place called the Beef Jerky Experience. And I picked up some beef jerky, the cleanest I could find. But the cleanest stuff was biltong. And but I bought big bags in bulk, and the biltong was little tiny ones. So I actually don't know the difference between biltong and beef jerky, but the biltong was the cleanest.
Beef jerky is dehydrated. Biltong is air dried. It's a much longer process, and it's covered in a lot of seasonings to keep flies and insects off of it. So it's got a lot of crushed roasted coriander on it and pepper and whatnot, and that allows them to hang it and air dry it and not get bugs all over it.
Okay, I get it.
And it's also, instead of being marinated in soy, it's marinated in some type of vinegar. So a lot of them will use, traditionally they'll use a malt vinegar. I haven't tried that yet. Each batch I do, I'm trying a different vinegar. My last batch I did wine vinegar, and it was very good. I enjoyed it, but I'll do apple cider another time. I'll do white wine vinegar another time. I'll try the malt vinegar. Each one trying to find which one I like the best.
Oh, we lost Paul. Maybe he'll come back. All right. Latro, if I believe he said he was 70, says he can still repair his truck. Most anything, at least unless it needs a lift. He did a wiper motor assembly today. So yeah, that's excellent. He also says beef jerky comes from cows with buck teeth and thick glasses.
That's just a terrible thing to say. Poor cows.
Jeanette says, I like Chomp's beef sticks, 100% grass-fed
You
beef.
bet.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I've got some in my pantry right now.
And here it looks like we might be seeing Rick after all. He found another broken cam. He's going to try and get it working. All right. Erin has a nice stainless steel dehydrator that she got from Amazon. Also makes yogurt in it. That's interesting. So I'm not too well versed in dehydrators, so that kind of popped out at me. It's kind of unique. Kelly says Chomps is his favorite beef sticks, and Aaron asks, "What is the difference? Spell it, please." And that's we're talking about the biltong, right? I think that's what that
Difference
might have been
between
referring to.
Jerky and biltong. Biltong, Biltong. Is that right,
Yeah,
Bob?
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Biltong comes from South Africa, and it's just a method that they use of drying beef. It's a very popular food item in South Africa. Whereas jerky at one time was air dried over a smoky fire, but jerky is more dehydrated, whereas the biltong is air dried.
I like biltong. That's pretty good.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I love it.
Sandy says, I guess Peter went to bed. Yeah, he's passed out. Set his phone down. No. Let's see here. Malt vinegar has gluten.
I did not know that. That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't. I would have thought that. That's interesting. All right. Biltong beef jerky. Where can you buy it? So, I mean, that beef jerky experience is where I saw it. Now they got a website, beef jerky experience. I'm sure you could Google it. You probably find it on Amazon because you can find anything on Amazon.
Yeah, if you don't,
I found some about a few years ago at Walmart, and I think you can still get it there. I don't know all Walmarts, but the Walmart here in my local area had it.
yeah, I've never seen it for sale anywhere, you know, in my neck of the woods. I looked it up and saw it where I could buy it online through Amazon. But I like making my own stuff, so I just chose to make my own. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to make it, and finally worked up my own recipe and did it myself, and it came out fantastic.
All right. So I'll share some pictures here from my vacation. I was looking to see this is what my wife tagged me in, so I could probably visit her page and find it. But there's a gift shop down there called the Gay Dolphin, and I found this velociraptor down there. I didn't take it home though, but it was one carnivore to another. So let's see here. That place had all kinds of cool stuff. You see all the stupid stuff I post online. Here's some cool pictures here. So we were on Pier 14, and that's the Sky Wheel in the background. That's me and my son, and me and the wife. And we just happened to catch a really awesome sunset in the background there. And this was the coolest experience. So we got to fish this fish food at Broadway and the beach to feed the fish, but the pigeons were interested in it as well, and they were brave. They would climb on us to try and get to that food. And so here, oh my gosh, I'm undertaking. There's 3 of them. This was a pretty cool experience here.
Yeah, free squab, exactly.
Oh my gosh!
It's a good thing Rick wasn't
Those poor
there. He'd been
fishies.
eating.
Yeah.
Yep, they were all about that. Look at that. Our arms were kind of tore up after that because they had to look at the little claws. So, and then this was the dolphin ride here. So they're just a few of the things that we did on the vacation. So, I shut this off now. There we go. Yeah. Let's see here. Tasty lizard. Yeah, the velociraptor. So, that brings up we often talk about how carnivores don't eat carnivores. And I'm not exactly sure why humans in generally don't, but I was watching a video the other day that talked about lions and hyenas. Like they often, get in fights with each other, and they're adversarial because they're territorial and they occupy the same space. And but you'll see they'll fight and injure a hyena, but they actually won't eat a hyena. The lions won't, and the hyenas won't eat the lions. And the excuse that the video gave was because since carnivores eat other animals, they could have parasites, and the lions could get sick from eating the hyena. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting.
Absolute BS.
I don't know if it's true or not.
No, it can't be. That would require cognitive reasoning. A lion doesn't know what a parasite is. A lion can't have anybody tell it, hey, that thing might have parasites. You better not eat it. There's just no way. That's ignorant. Anybody that says has no idea what they're talking about. And carnivores will eat carnivores. Okay. For instance, okay, when you live out in the country in Texas, If your cat comes up missing, your dog comes up missing, I can guarantee you it's coyote's cat somewhere. Those coyotes will eat anything, and they will eat, and they're one of their favorite foods is your house cat. And you can find plenty of videos of them doing it. So a carnivore will eat a carnivore, and they'll take down a small dog in a heartbeat. They'll take down big dogs too in a pack, but they'll take down small dogs. So yeah, don't believe that a carnivore won't eat a carnivore. Now, a lion may not eat a hyena for whatever reason. And it's not because he knows he's got parasites. That's ignorant. But there are carnivores that will eat carnivores.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So I just heard that in the video, and I'm like, my first thought was like, well, man, maybe there's, I mean, they don't think it's got parasites, but maybe if an animal eats something that gets it sick routinely, then they're going to stop eating it, instinctively. So maybe it had to do with instinct. But here's what it says on a particular website. It says lions do not eat hyenas. Lions prefer to hunt and eat herbivores because they have more nutritious and fattier meat. The hyena's meat is less appetizing for the lion because of their bad diet. In addition, hyenas and lions are also considered apex predators, meaning it's not easy to hunt and kill another predator. So
I could see it being a flavor thing, a fat thing, and I could see it being a somewhat nutritional thing in that, over time they've just learned they don't do as well when they eat something like that, But to say that, oh yeah, well they don't do it because the other animals have parasites. Everything they eat has parasites. Good grief.
That's true.
I'm sorry, but I can't stand ignorant people when it comes, popping off saying stupid stuff like that. I mean, I know a lot about animals. Okay, they don't think like that.
Unlike
the dumber the animal, the tastier it is. That's the one thing I found out.
Hyenas have tough, sinewy flesh that lacks the same level of palatability. Because of this, lions are not instinctively drawn to hyena as a food source.
See, that would indicate a possible taste texture thing, which maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so they just don't taste good.
Yeah.
A hyena, on the other hand, will feed on a lion carcass because hyenas eat anything.
All right. Well, I'm going to bail out of here. It was good to chat with you all, and y'all have a good night.
Okay, you too. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Yep.
So Rick's eating gator and snake.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I love gator and snake.
Yeah. Out west, coyotes eat small pets. Yep.
Yes, they do.
Rick, you are truly Crocodile Dundee, a true caveman. And yes, good night, Kelly. Good night, Paul. He disappeared on us. Maybe his phone died. So, all right, and we've made it 2 hours. Papa Carnivore's passed out. It appears. We're assuming. And so I'm going to say that this is basically last call. So, so it's 10 o'clock. If Rick, if you got your camera working, now's the time to jump on. If anybody else would like to jump on, click the link that is pinned at the top that I'm also going to post right here in the chat. And you can join us on screen live and say a few words, and we'll probably wrap this up here shortly. I kind of had 10:30
I'm going
as
to
my
take this
goal.
opportunity to bail myself.
Yeah.
Besides the fact I need a shower and I'm tired, I need to go check on my wife. She's not feeling good. So I need to go see if there's anything she needs. So y'all have a great evening. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And sorry I missed the last few weeks, but been awful busy. But I should be able to start making them again. Y'all have a good.
Okay, you too. Good night, Jeff.
Good night.
All right. Okay. So, and we'll just put this here. Oh, look at that. I got some skin on my nose is peeling from the vacation. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to call it a night too. Just as far as announcements, remember I'm going to start making regular efforts at interviews, and I've mentioned this a couple times. I wrote down some names of individuals who would like to be interviewed or do an interview exchange, or even an interview or a podcast. You know, some of you do audio podcasts, and so that's going to be coming up soon. So if you're interested in being interviewed, please reach out to me using the contact form in the link below, or you can email me at bob@carnivoretalk.com and let me know. And in the meantime, don't forget about carnivoretalk.com. Come over there and participate in some of the discussions. We have a nice little niche group over there. And I'll look forward to seeing all of you on next Monday. So, and we'll talk about a lot of things. So a lot of stuff happened on vacation. I was a little upset with the news of the murder last week. That didn't make me happy at all. And I thought maybe we'd talk about that too, but it's probably good that we don't. So that's a lot of people have some mixed feelings about that. So, but I will say that there's an article that I thought kind of relates to it. So I think anybody that does that kind of stuff has mental problems. And I came across an article and I shared it the other day that I found kind of interesting. And it is right here. I'll put this up on the screen too. Yeah, the assassination. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So that had me disturbed for a couple days in the middle of my vacation. Why am I clicking all the wrong buttons here? Share screen. And there we go. So this was an interesting article I saw the other day. Vegetarian diet linked to high depression scores suggests large meta-analysis. And I highlighted a couple sentences here. The research backs up existing studies that have linked ditching meat to an increased likelihood of depression. And the researchers discovered a significant increase in depression scores of vegetarians compared to non-vegetarians. So I don't know, obviously, what kind of diet these people entertain, but one thing we do for sure is like the standard American diet and the vegetarian diet causes all kinds of problems, including mental problems. And a good way to clean that up, of course, is to eat single ingredient whole foods and stop poisoning your body with man-made junk. So eat your meat, it heals. Yeah, like Rick calls it, it's the duck food diet, and you're not a duck. So don't eat the duck food diet. And looks like we won't be seeing Rick. He said that Milton just broke my soldering station holder. So Jeanette says, Bob, thank you. It was interesting and fun. Yes, sad. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, praying for his family. So sad. Yeah, that's absolutely terrible. Father, husband, and wife and children were right there, and completely senseless. So completely senseless because all the reasons that the alleged killer committed this heinous act is because he was lied to and misinformed. So it's sad when misrepresentation, can result in the loss of life. So absolutely hate it. Drives me crazy. So nothing I hate more than being lied about, slandered, and lies and slander and misrepresentation can result in the loss of life. So that's why I just think it's a horrible thing altogether. But anyway, it's obviously not the theme of this channel. Oh, sometimes I think about doing another channel where I comment on just anything I want. So we will never know the true story of what happens. So yeah, that's only so much is going to go on publicly. And again, whatever is going on in their heads is will only know whatever they're willing to talk about. Right now, I heard that he's being very uncooperative. So anyhow, thanks for tuning in tonight. Have a good night, everybody. And this was fun. I was glad to be back. And I look forward to seeing all of you next Monday, if not sooner. So have a good night. Peace.